Have you ever thought about what it would be like to live in a place far from where you were born? For over 250 million people around the globe, this is a reality. They are part of what we call the diaspora, individuals and families who have moved away from their home countries. Leaving your homeland can be an adventure, filled with opportunities for a new beginning. But it also comes with the challenge of keeping your cultural identity alive. These communities become like living museums, safeguarding the stories, songs, and rituals that make up their heritage. Imagine a bustling marketplace filled with the aroma of exotic spices and the vibrant colors of traditional clothing. These are just glimpses into the rich tapestry of cultures that diaspora communities bring to their adopted homes. For many in the diaspora, cultural heritage is not just something to be preserved, it's a lifeline. It's about passing on traditions to their children, ensuring that their cultural legacy continues to thrive. The pressures of assimilation, the dominance of the host culture, and the simple passage of time can all erode cultural practices. Language, a cornerstone of any culture, can be particularly vulnerable. Despite these challenges, diaspora communities are incredibly resilient. They find creative and inspiring ways to keep their heritage alive, often against all odds. Think of bustling weekend schools where children learn their ancestral languages, their laughter echoing the sounds of their parents' homelands. Picture vibrant cultural festivals that transform city streets into celebrations of heritage, sharing music, dance, and cuisine with the wider community. By sharing their traditions, diaspora communities don't just preserve their own cultures, they enrich the cultural fabric of their adopted societies. Imagine carrying the weight of two worlds on your shoulders. On one side is the familiar comfort of your heritage, the traditions passed down through generations. On the other side is the pull of a new society, with its own customs and expectations. This is the difficult reality faced by many in the diaspora. They must navigate the complexities of belonging to two cultures simultaneously. The pressure to assimilate can be immense, sometimes leading individuals to downplay their cultural differences. Cultural heritage is not static. It's a living, breathing entity that evolves over time. But for diaspora communities, there's a risk that this evolution can lead to a gradual fading of traditions. With each passing generation, the connection to the homeland can weaken, and cultural practices can start to disappear. Language is often one of the first casualties of cultural assimilation. Culinary traditions are another important aspect of cultural heritage that can face challenges in diaspora communities. Language is the lifeblood of any culture. For diaspora communities, preserving their languages is crucial for maintaining their cultural identity. Children growing up in diaspora communities often find themselves navigating two linguistic worlds, the language of their parents and the language of their adopted country. This linguistic shift can create a communication gap between generations. The loss of language can have a profound impact on cultural identity, leading to a sense of rootlessness. One of the biggest challenges faced by diaspora communities is the feeling of isolation. Being far from one's homeland can mean being far from the support systems, cultural cues, and shared experiences that help to reinforce cultural identity. For subsequent generations, the challenge can be different. They may not have the same direct connection to their ancestral land, and their cultural identity might be shaped more by the society they grew up in. This can lead to a gradual erosion of cultural practices and beliefs as they assimilate into the dominant culture. Over time, the unique cultural markers that once defined a community can become diluted. Despite the challenges, diaspora communities are incredibly resilient. They find innovative and heartwarming ways to bridge the gap between their heritage and their present lives, ensuring that their culture continues to thrive. It's about parents sharing stories of their childhoods with their children, keeping those memories alive across continents and generations. These efforts are not just about looking back, they're about building a future where cultural identity is celebrated and embraced. By sharing their traditions with the wider community, diaspora communities enrich the cultural fabric of their adopted societies. They establish cultural centers, language schools, and community organizations to provide a space where their heritage can be celebrated and passed on to future generations. Imagine a riot of colors, a fusion of music and dance, and the tantalizing aroma of exotic spices filling the air. This is the vibrant atmosphere of a cultural festival, a powerful way diaspora communities keep their heritage alive. From the pulsating rhythms of Caribbean carnivals to the intricate dances of Indian Diwali celebrations, diaspora communities around the world transform their adopted cities into temporary homes, showcasing the beauty and diversity of their cultures. Festivals provide a platform for cultural exchange, breaking down barriers and fostering understanding between communities. The sights, sounds, and tastes of these festivals create lasting memories and build bridges of connection. For those far from their homelands, these events offer a taste of familiarity, a chance to reconnect with their cultural identity and pass it on to their children. In the heart of diaspora communities, you'll often find cultural organizations working tirelessly to preserve and promote their heritage. These organizations, run by dedicated volunteers, become cultural hubs, offering a range of activities and services that keep traditions alive. They might organize traditional dance workshops, keeping alive the graceful movements and stories embedded in each step. These organizations often serve as a vital link to the homeland, organizing trips and exchanges that allow younger generations to experience their cultural roots firsthand. More than just preserving traditions, these organizations play a crucial role in fostering a sense of community. Language is the cornerstone of any culture, the vehicle through which stories are told, songs are sung, and traditions are passed down. Recognizing this, diaspora communities often establish language schools where children can learn their ancestral languages. These schools are more than just educational institutions. They are cultural lifelines, ensuring that the linguistic heritage of a community doesn't fade away. The benefits of learning one's ancestral language are numerous. It strengthens the bond between generations, allowing children to communicate with their grandparents and understand family histories. Food is more than just sustenance. It's a powerful expression of culture, evoking memories, traditions, and a sense of belonging. For diaspora communities, food becomes a tangible link to their homeland, a way to preserve and share their culinary heritage. From bustling restaurants serving authentic dishes to home kitchens filled with the aromas of traditional spices, diaspora communities keep their culinary traditions alive. Recipes passed down through generations are carefully recreated, ensuring that the flavors of home continue to be savored. By sharing their culinary traditions, diaspora communities create connections, break down barriers, and foster a sense of community in their adopted homes. In an increasingly digital world, the internet and social media have become powerful tools for diaspora communities to connect with their heritage and with each other. Online platforms provide a virtual space for cultural preservation and exchange. These platforms become virtual meeting places where people can exchange stories, share recipes, discuss cultural events, and seek advice on navigating life in the diaspora. Social media platforms provide a space for showcasing cultural traditions to a wider audience. The digital space has also revolutionized language learning, making it easier than ever for diaspora communities to preserve their languages and pass them on to future generations. The efforts of diaspora communities to preserve their cultural heritage are a testament to the enduring power of human connection and the importance of identity. Through festivals, organizations, language schools, culinary practices, and digital platforms, these communities create a rich tapestry of traditions, languages, and beliefs. These efforts are not just about preserving the past, they are about enriching the present and shaping the future. By sharing their heritage, diaspora communities contribute to the cultural diversity of their adopted societies, making the world a more vibrant and interconnected place. The preservation of cultural heritage is an ongoing journey, a continuous thread connecting generations past, present, and future. The Cuban heartbeat of Miami. The Cuban community in Miami has infused their heritage into the city's fabric. What began as a wave of immigrants has redefined Miami's identity. Walking through Little Havana is like stepping into another world. The scent of Cuban coffee mingles with salsa music. Dominoes clatter as elderly men play animated games. The Cuban influence extends beyond Little Havana. It's in the city's music scene, where Latin rhythms reign, and in vibrant art galleries showcasing Cuban artists. In kitchens, the aromas of ropa vieja and arroz con pollo fill the air. A symphony of flavors and rhythms. Cuban culture is rich with vibrant music and dance. From the sultry bolero to the energetic salsa, Cuban music moves your soul. In Miami, this heritage is celebrated passionately. The Calle Ocho Festival is a massive celebration. Streets come alive with music and dance. The air is filled with the aroma of Cuban cuisine. People of all ages dance together. Cuban music influences Miami's music scene. It shapes the city's unique sound. Cuban rhythms blend with jazz, funk, and electronic music. This fusion enriches the cultural landscape. Our diversity is our greatest strength. The Cuban community's impact on Miami extends far beyond music and food. They have shaped Miami's identity as a truly global city. One can't help but notice the distinct Cuban flair in architecture, design, fashion, and language. Miami has become a hub for Cuban art and culture. The city's museums and theaters celebrate Cuban music, dance, and theater. Miami is a platform for Cuban artists to share their stories with a global audience. The success of the Cuban community enriches Miami's cultural landscape. As we've journeyed through the vibrant world of diaspora communities, we've seen how these individuals and families carry their heritage with them, like precious cargo, across oceans and continents. We've witnessed their struggles to adapt to new environments while holding on to the traditions, languages, and customs that define who they are. It's a delicate balance, this act of preserving one's cultural identity while embracing a new way of life. But as we've seen, it's a challenge that diaspora communities meet with remarkable resilience and creativity. They understand that culture is not a static thing, frozen in time. It's a living, breathing entity that evolves and adapts, taking on new forms and expressions with each passing generation. From the bustling festivals that transform city streets into celebrations of heritage, to the quiet dedication of language schools keeping ancestral tongues alive, diaspora communities find countless ways to keep their cultures thriving. They understand that preserving their heritage is not just about honoring the past, it's about shaping the future. They pass on their traditions to their children, ensuring that the stories, songs, and rituals that define their culture continue to resonate. And in doing so, they enrich the cultural fabric of their adopted societies, making the world a more vibrant, diverse, and interconnected place. The stories of diaspora communities remind us that our world is a tapestry woven from countless cultural threads. Each thread, with its unique colors and textures, contributes to the richness and beauty of the whole. And just as a tapestry would be incomplete without all of its threads, so too would our world be diminished without the contributions of diaspora communities. Their experiences challenge us to think beyond borders and embrace the richness that diversity brings to our lives. They remind us that cultural exchange is not a threat but an opportunity for growth, understanding, and connection. When we open ourselves to the experiences of others, when we listen to their stories and celebrate their traditions, we expand our own worldviews and become richer for it. So let's celebrate the contributions of diaspora communities around the world. Let's honor their resilience, their creativity, and their unwavering commitment to keeping their cultures alive. And let's remember that our shared future is a tapestry that we weave together, thread by thread, story by story, generation after generation. The stories of diaspora communities are all around us, woven into the fabric of our societies. Perhaps you have your own story to tell, your own experiences of preserving your heritage or connecting with a culture different from your own. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us about a time you felt connected to your heritage or learned something new about another culture. Have you ever participated in a cultural festival, learned a new language, or cooked a traditional dish from another country? Your experiences can inspire others and help us all appreciate the richness and diversity that diaspora communities bring to our world. Let's continue the conversation and celebrate the power of cultural heritage. For more inspiring stories of cultural preservation efforts from around the globe, be sure to check out our next video. Together, let's explore the beauty of our interconnected world. See you in the next video.